He's broken.
Welcome to Diversity Conversations, where we engage in thought-provoking dialogue to identify leadership solutions to today's most challenging conflicts. Streamed live each week, Saturday 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Hosted by Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Strategist and CEOs Eric Ellis and Tommy Lewis. Join us and add your voice to this engaging diversity conversation.
Good morning, Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, the United States, and the world. My name is Eric Ellis. I'm the president and CEO of Integrity Development Corporation, and I'm joined this Christmas almost morning by my good friend and brother,
Tommy Lewis, president and CEO of Make It Plain Consulting. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Tommy. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Today is Saturday, December 23rd, 2023. Couple things, Eric, real quick. I had taken a look at some of our past shows and then did some calculations, Eric.
Okay.
And this is approximate. We're at about 315 episodes.
What?
Eric.
What?
300.
We got to get paid, Tommy. 315. Oh, my goodness.
315
Wow.
episodes. And so time flies when you're having fun. And I thought about that as again, today is December 23rd, 2023. And I do know, and you know, we have a long runway ahead of us for our diversity conversations, but it's always a blessing to be with you every Saturday morning.
Tommy, it's a blessing to be with you as well. And I think we can have a quick conversation about our week. I know I didn't do much. We went to Florida and had a family vacation, went to Disney at least one afternoon. But man, spent a lot of time just resting. I mean, really, that's the first time maybe in decades that I've not left the room for a couple of days straight.
Yeah.
It's nothing, you know, and had all of my family there. There was Judy and I and our 4 adult children. So you could say that 3 rooms wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
You know, but everybody got a chance to spread it. And it really was a successful vacation because there was really limited conflict and people really mostly enjoyed each other. And that's a real win.
That's a real win, Eric. And congratulations to you and your family for taking a vacation. I wasn't able to get away formally, but I'll tell you right now, on Wednesday of this past week, kind of midday, Eric, I just went on a vacation in my head.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You ain't got to go nowhere. Don't cost nothing. Just go on a vacation right here.
In my head.
I know I need to be doing more of that.
I was in midstream of doing work.
Right.
And I said, I'm out of here.
Right.
And I checked out. I had looked around.
Right.
And you know, folks were outside. I looked out the window. Folks were milling around, you know, in their cars. My office is across the street from a restaurant.
Right.
Folks were packing the restaurant.
Right.
And I just, why am I here?
You felt the Christmas spirit come over you and said, okay, I'm on holiday. That's it, man. That is it. You looked out and just made yourself a part of your environment. I don't have a boss. I can do whatever I want to do. Vacation right now. Tell you heard that. I love that, man. That's my favorite story of the week already.
Oh, good stuff. We're excited to talk about, you know, Christmas, the Christmas season,
yes,
and all of that. And before we jump into it, Eric, I would like to invite our community, and I see they're up, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as always. Thank you for joining us. We really want to allow you and invite you to share your thoughts this morning. We're going to be talking about some concerns, challenges, issues that we all experience during these holiday season. This holiday season, we'll talk about from a Christian perspective, the purpose of Christmas, and then we'll also talk about the values of Christmas. And so, share your Christmas memories, be it the last couple of Christmases, or we can go all the way back. But we want to hear your stories because Eric and I, we start our show with recapping the week. Yeah. We have a lot of talk, before the show and after the show, but want to really invite our community to share their thoughts and memories this morning.
Right. And Tommy, I really appreciated the list that you had sent around some of the challenges that happen around Christmas and almost any holiday, actually. But one of you just talked about stress related to gift giving, shopping, budgets, and I think stress in general. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that. I certainly have some thoughts about it.
I'm managing stress a bit better now with the holiday season for maybe 2 or 3 reasons. One, the gifts, well, my family, they're getting older, right? So there are particular age brackets that are not really expecting gifts. Right. And so that's a reprieve for me because I don't necessarily expect a gift when I get one or two.
I certainly don't.
Great. Right. And then the other is, with regards to stress, budgeting is still a challenge because although we may not be shopping, there's vacations, there's moving around,
right?
And so I get some anxiety around the potential of overspending, and then moving into the new year, Eric, with the kind of the Christmas shame, budget shame. So I have to get over that myself, but it does increase some stress.
So I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to confess mine. And we're hopeful that you all are out there confessing your weaknesses and foolishness around holidays. Foolishness. Straight up foolishness. I don't know why. We're just dysfunctional around these holidays, and Christmas is the worst. Because the kids believed in Santa Claus probably up to about 3 or 4, 5 maybe. Yeah. And then they knew it was us. Once they knew it was us, they was asking for bigger gifts. They would have never done Santa like this. No. They wouldn't have done Santa like this. But as soon as they knew it was us, they started asking for the world. And then looking at us like, you a bad Santa. But that's not the crime in it. The real crime in it is to buy into it, Tommy.
Yes, sir.
And start trying to set these unrealistic expectations.
Yeah. Eric.
And I like coming in as the winner, as the hero. Yeah. You could be the hero at Christmas time. They knew you didn't have no money. It was a bad work year. You didn't get very many contracts. So you've been setting them up for the fall, the realistic fall.
Not going to go for it.
They're not going for it?
Yep.
And you not going for it. So here you out. And usually I'm out discount shopping at the last day. That means I ain't putting much thought into it. I just ran around the city, filled up the car with boxes and packages. So I know none of y'all like me. But at some point, you've got to be able to dissect that and bring more maturity to your decision making. This year was one of the first for me. I started by setting a financial expectation per child. Here's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
And actually, you can tell me how you want me to do that. You want me to buy gifts? You want me to give it to you in cash? You buy your own things? Yeah. How do you want? And so we navigated, and Judy was just cringing. I could see her. It's like, no, don't do that. But I'd like to, because it's our podcast, I'd like to act like she the worst.
Right.
Nope. The very worst.
The very worst.
The very worst is me.
And that's how it happens. And thank you again for sharing your comments. Overeating and weight gain. Before we do that, let's get to this comment here. And Shirley says this: with this new world pandemic, I found out I was an Israelite, that just Black Americans stopped putting money in the white man's pocket. I'm gonna do something for somebody, and it would be done every day, not just because it's Christmas.
Okay.
Right. And that's all right. That's all right. And I would share this.
I bought a lot of stuff from Black people.
That's what I was about to say.
I'm still buying, but you make a good point.
Absolutely good point.
Right.
And so I would think that with stress, if whatever you do and whatever you've experienced that you know is stressful, I think we need to make a decision, Eric. Do we continue to do it?
Right.
To revisit the trauma of stress? Or do we make a change?
Right.
Right. And making a change, for one, maybe as one of the challenges is overeating.
Yeah.
And weight gain.
Yeah.
I have to make a change, right? Have to make a change. For myself, Eric, I'm not overweight. I do have areas of my athletic body. In my mind, I'm still that top shelf athlete.
Right.
But today it stores sugar and fat in certain areas.
That's right.
Right. I've also realized that my muscle mass has decreased, as all of us do over.
I hate
years.
realizing that.
Yeah. And so now I'm looking different. My mind is saying I can do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm having to really manage, for me, it's not overeating. It's literally what I eat. So I eat sugars. I eat some fatty foods. I eat, soul food, and I end up sleeping, and it stays around until December of the next year. That's it.
Right. Let's see what Anita has said to us. Tommy, this thing has gotten so far away from us, man. I can't see. We need magnifying glasses on this.
We have to pull in. Let me see if I can take a read. Yeah. All right, here we go. Anita says, I do well with budgeting for Christmas shopping. However, once I complete my gift shopping, my foolishness occurs when I then return to the stores to shop for me.
Okay.
Stores are overstocked with items that I always see something I like.
Yeah, that's it. Tell the truth. Shame the devils, tell the truth. She said, I do fine with my budget. And then I go back like, okay, I get everybody everything they need.
And then poof, it's gone.
I do that year round though.
Right.
So I just kind of do that. I do that one year round. But I at least go discount shopping. I go to Ross, Dress for Less. Some of my favorite places, Burlington, TJ Maxx, things like that. But I think that all of that suggests that we have to keep looking at how we are navigating the stress that we're under. I will say to you all that our brain is always looking for dopamine. It can get dopamine from drugs, alcohol, sex, food, shopping, or your purpose. And I really believe that if we spend more time doing our purpose in life, then it gives our brain that excitement that it needs. But there is so much stress and anxiety that we're under, Tommy, that I find that we end up doing whatever we desire to give ourselves that boost of positivity. And I think that we just got to get the counseling we need. We got to talk to others. We've got to create meaningful moments that don't have us having to spend to buy something that gives little drips of dopamine.
Eric, so when we think of the season, for those who have celebrated Christmas over the years, there are certain traditions that take place. Let me give you an example. Like television, there are Christmas shows, cartoons, animation, there are Christmas songs. This country is kind of Christian driven. No matter where you go in shopping, you will hear some what we call Christmas carols. If over the years, are we Pavlov's dog, whereby when the season comes,
no doubt,
we just respond,
there's no doubt,
to the stimuli of the season. And part of that stimuli is the baked in stress.
Right.
Because in even shopping, and now it's, we've always known it's commercialized, that Christmas season is beginning before Halloween. It's in October. So I'm interested in
I'm sorry, Tommy. You painted such a picture, and I just see myself. He said Pavlov's dog. That's what he said. And I saw myself prancing down the store aisles with the Christmas music, knowing that I'm being had. I know it. I'm
Yep.
being had.
Yep.
They're singing all my favorite songs in there. Jingle bell, jingle bell.
It got the man behind the curtain like this.
Right, that's right. And I might even throw on the little red nose in there. Now I'm shopping with the red nose on. So mom got to be Santa Claus. And Tommy says that it's a setup. That's a shame. And so there we are being had, really being had by the commercials, all our favorite songs. I'm singing along with Nat King Cole, you know, and there we are at trying to relieve the stress that we are under. And this is, it's not a good look. It's easier to tell other people not to do it than it is for you to manage that yourself.
Yeah. Let's transition, Eric. Oh, this is great.
So the other things that happen around the holidays is that sometimes we get involved in conflict, loneliness, isolation. These are things that people don't like to talk about, but they're dealing with those things. And I don't think that there are any easy answers on this, Tommy, except that we have to really become conscious around the things that are happening unconsciously for us. I know that, so in my family, I've got a lot of extroverts, a lot of bright people, a lot of opinionated people. So a lot of times I have to just sit it out, like sit out some conversations, one less opinion, because we don't need another opinion in the Ellis family. And, but what I was noticing is how my children sort of navigate this differently. And it was interesting. You know, sometimes if things are ever going off the rail, then I can, you know, but you know, it's interesting that I'd say to you all in our community that as you are preparing for the holiday, to become more present around what you are doing and why you are doing it. And if you've just become an expert on giving other people advice on what they should work on, that's probably not even the best use of your own energy. Look at where you're falling short. Are you overeating? Are you reminding yourself of your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother by the things that you cook and how much of that you consume? I just think that we have to constantly find ourselves trying to get healthier and break from dysfunctional patterns that aren't helpful for us or our budget. I think gift giving, I'm going to return to that, is one of those that, and then just loneliness. I don't know how many of you are experiencing loneliness. Tommy, you were talking about going to different families. How do we navigate and manage that? Any wisdom around how people should think about going to the different houses?
Well, a couple of things, Eric. I think that first, to best navigate the ever-changing dynamics of a family, the growth of the family, or as families may start to kind of get smaller because we're all aging and we change, folks move away, etc. I really think that you have to know where you're happy and what you're able to live with. What do I mean by that is, over the last 10 years or so, I have come to find out about myself that at the end of the year, this Christmas season, I am emotionally, psychologically, spiritually spent. I'm exhausted. And then we have the rush of, you know, the expectations of the holiday season. And then I have a wife who has her family that I love and appreciate and acknowledge. I have my own family. And then the families have families. And so at one time, I could see myself being in 15 to 20 different places in one day.
Right.
Which is almost unrealistic with travel.
Right.
So to better navigate that is, what makes me happy? Where's my peace? And sometimes through the grace of God, divvy that time up over a period of time. Tomorrow's not promised. That's true. But this year, I'm going to be in this place, committing my time there. I can pick up the phone. I can use technology, right?
Yeah.
So we can be in multiple places at the same time using technology, cell phones and FaceTimes and things like that. And so that's two things. The second thing, Eric, is that when I'm going to say this, even amongst a group of my family members, I can still feel lonely.
I can, man, you said a lot there.
I can feel lonely in the crowd,
right?
You know, and like you said, that there don't need another opinion. It's not a sense of loneliness there, but it's just like I find myself like, you know, there's a lot of chatter going around me. I've said my I love yous and we're eating, and in my mind I'm like, I'm not necessarily lonely. I'm just I need to rest. I need to be in the presence of my Lord and allow him to speak to me. So I don't know if those are always the best examples, but
I like that, Tommy. Man, Tommy said some profound things, and that was absolutely one of those. As much as I am an extrovert, I'm also a loner.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are times, man, that I don't really need to be anywhere. And that's what is beautiful about being with your nuclear family. That's a smaller family. You kind of understand that. And we get big enough spaces so people can still go into their cave.
Right. Yes.
And sort of say, okay, I can store up. Now I can come out, interact, go back.
Yeah.
You know, if the interaction is good out here, I can stay for a while. If I can return back to that. But then you added, and I want to sort of recall this. You added that during this holiday, you consider and think about being in the presence of your Lord and Savior. Mm-hmm. From a Christian worldview, which you and I share, what are some of the reasons that Christians celebrate Christmas?
One may be the celebration of Jesus Christ, his birth. Christmas is about Christ, right? There's the background there, but Christmas is a joyous occasion for Christians, marking the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, whom, again, Christians believe that Jesus Christ of Nazareth is the Son of God. And so that is literally the reason for the season. Right. And that's the why. Sometimes with some Christians that's blurred, right? When, you know, kind of commercialization gets in there and like, you know, Christmas is about the sharing of blessings and gifts. Yes, it is. It is Christmas, right? And this is not to say, I'm going to say it here, that celebrating Christmas does not mean that Christians are anti-other. Right. Anti-other. And so I think it's the celebration of Jesus and his birth. And we do know, most of us know, Eric, that Jesus was not born on that day of celebration, right? But we do know, those who believe, that he's real. He was born, and we celebrate that birth. And then there was a death and a resurrection. Right. So that's the takeaway from there.
And those things are very important to us. And I think that we live in a time where sometimes to declare a belief in something causes other people to sort of feel like you're opposing them.
Yeah.
This is not about opposing. Everybody has the freedom to believe in what they believe in. But as those of us who believe in are Christians, believe in the life of Christ and him as an example, then Christmas reminds us of the time that God gave his only son for our lives and our sins, and believe that that's powerful. It was the fulfillment of prophecy. Mm-hmm. It was a prophecy that about his birth. And so Christmas sort of reflects that. It symbolizes both hope and light. And I think that as we live in the times that we live in right now, we were just talking about this election that we're in right now.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Supreme Court decisions around President Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so much chaos in the world right now. What we're seeing in Ukraine with Russia trying to invade them, take them over, what we're seeing between Israel and Hamas, all of those are absent Christ. But they create stress, and they create this sense that if man was left to his own devices, we would literally destroy the earth.
Yeah.
And Christmas reminds us that there is a hope and that there is life.
It also reminds us, Eric, that there's an emphasis on compassion, and I think of humanity, just like what you said. And so I think, based on what you just shared as well, that there today in this world, in this country, there is and I don't want to use this word loosely, there's a war on principality, right? What's good or evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good or bad.
Right.
And so this season has us reconnect with the passion that we are human beings,
Mm-hmm.
right? We are, some of us going left, right, going up, down, etc. We are human beings. But if we can continue to articulate and exhibit compassion for mankind, then we are really living out the purpose and reason for the season. And that's coming through some unity. It's coming through fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming through community. And community is important. I was doing a talk yesterday with a couple of guys for some young people in Cincinnati. And one of the speakers, who was a former police officer, retired police officer, he mentioned that he has realized that there's been a decline in neighborhoods or the communities within this city, and that there is a kind of a breakdown of the unity, right, that we used to experience. And communities and neighborhoods change all the time. But as we think about Christmas and this season, what does community mean to you? What does it look like? How does it feel? And I'll say this, that this right here, to me, is community.
Okay.
Eric, every Saturday morning, particularly this Saturday,
Right.
The eve before Christmas Eve, and communities engaging. This is unity. This is fellowship. This is community to me.
Right. And it's a new way of building community, because right now in so many of our neighborhoods, we don't really know our neighbors.
Indeed.
So we don't spend much time with them. And so we've got to actually relearn how to engage each other, because I think that when we think about the vehicle of media, social media, Tommy, it feels like the only way that a lot of people are using it is for debate and argument and stressful interactions and challenging thoughts and opposing things. Mm-hmm. And what you and I seek to do is to bring hope and light and encouragement to our community. There's a lot of things that we could debate, but we're not trying to do that. And because of our focus on positivity and growth and learning and encouragement, it's been a blessing for us, because there's so many other things that we could be doing, that you could be doing. And I believe that we need this programming. We need this engagement with you all to breathe life back into us. I would say to you that Terry Cooley is one of our finest community members. And every time he listens to a show, he'll call me and say, "Eric, you and Tommy, man, y'all global. And the reality is, it doesn't really matter how many people see us here or around the world. It adds value to somebody's life. It adds value to each of us. And I'm grateful for that, because I don't think that there's nothing else in my life that I do that's like this. Yep. There's nothing else in my life that I do that's like this, Tommy and I are two guys that can say no easily. No, I don't want to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I got too much stuff to do. Yep. So the only reason why we are in these seats each week is that you all and our dialogue together and our friendship adds enough value to us that it's worth it for us to keep coming.
The values of Christmas, Eric, right?
Yep.
And we did some research, pulled up a list, and you spoke this truth to power. The number one value of Christmas is love. Christmas emphasizes love, right? Both in a kind of a familial way, informal, etc. For me, Christmas, it is a memory. Eric, I have very, very fond memories of my childhood, my family around Christmas, right? I love my beloved sister and friend, Anita. She and I, with our smaller family, we're the last ones in our little small family. My mother, father, and our eldest sister, they've passed on. So it's just she and I. But I remember many, many Christmases where trying to stay up late at night to see Santa or our parents set up the gifts, right? And then falling out unconsciously and then waking up like, oh my goodness, and we've been asleep for 7-8 hours. Going over to our great grandmother's home, which we call Mother Dear or Mud Dear, and she was 4'10", I guess, long hair, and had power over the entire family. Right. It was immense power. She passed away at 96 years of age, and that's what Christmas was for me as a young man, going over to her house and seeing other grown men, including my father, answer to her. And read the Bible, share some Christmas carols. We had some singers in the family, and we were eating. Man, I can feel it now. I can smell it. I can taste it. Those are the memories of Christmas. And so today, that's not happening as much, but the memory is there. And so I would invite any of us that if we remember those times, which are past, but they're real, sometimes we can just double click in our memory when we're in our own space, and we can always articulate that memory through love, right? Even when that love may not be in existence, Eric, or there may be some tension and stress. Double click like a computer and say, let me go ahead and let me bring up love, and there it is, right? It's a magical gift.
Tommy, I agree with that wholeheartedly. That I can't even remember many of the gifts that I ever got growing up, because they weren't the most important thing. The most important thing was the meal that my mom would make, and we would dress up then and sit around the formal table, Christmas table, and eat and laugh together. And that food just soothes. I mean, it makes you feel the feeling of love when there's turkey, hot turkey. Love, white meat. So I'm, cutting the breast and maybe get some ham and some dressing, that homemade cornbread dressing. And my next door neighbor, when we lived in Skyline Acres, I know Austin will remember this, Miss Andrews. She would make cakes, Tommy. And my father's favorite cake, which became my favorite cake. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to make one because we talking about it. It's German chocolate cake. Come on. There is no cake that tastes better than Miss Andrews' German chocolate cake. It would be 2 to 3 layers, and she'd have like maybe even a chocolate layer between, and then that dripping German chocolate. Oh, and the cake was homemade, so it was just delicious. And those things made you feel loved, safe. Those sweet potatoes, yams, candied yams, man. Oh, Tommy, bruh. I mean, that is living. And potato salad, homemade potato salad. That's the stuff. And Judy, I didn't really add this to my list when I was putting together my list to God on what I wanted in a wife. I didn't put on there that she could cook real, but Judy can burn.
Yeah.
And so all of my children's life and mine, man, we have had some of the most spectacular meals. And out of everything that we've ever done over the holidays, the most powerful, the most memorable, the most joy and love inspiring things are the meals that we put together around the holidays. And then the conversation that we have, because I don't even remember conflicts that we've had at Christmas.
Right.
I really only remember the joy and the love of seeing people together.
Yeah, and I'm right with you, Eric. And as you were sharing your stories, I tell you right now, I'm hungry now.
Right.
I don't know about you, community, but again, we are Pavlov's dog. When that memory is triggered, we can spiral into that narrative, into that joyful space of love and generosity, peace, joy. It increases our faith, and it will build community. It will build community. And so we have another comment here, and we really appreciate this conversation, right? We're sharing our prayers and wisdom, and we're all doing it. Continue to share. Continue to share.
Right. So I said, me too. I want that food as well.
Yeah.
So, we have a lot to be grateful for around the holidays. And what I want to do is encourage somebody right now that if you're going to be on your holiday by yourself, reach out to Tommy or myself or somebody else that's in our community. You don't have to be alone during this time because we all need somebody in our life. And I think that the way that we do that is by being available to others. Sometimes the way that we can get out of a hole is to begin to serve others. I think, Tommy, there's so much in our society that has us so highly focused on ourselves that we just start getting down by ourselves. But if we were to just pick up enough energy to go reach out and serve somebody else that would be in need, that service has the ability to change your whole outlook and how you feel as well.
I think that's a great point, Eric. I would like to also offer up a charge to our community and ourselves. I believe that there's tremendous power in giving and sharing. And you do it so well, Eric, and I love you for it. And so if there's an opportunity for you over the next couple of days, in the spirit of Christmas, in the spirit of faith, joy, and love, not to pay it forward, but just give. Just give. And if it's not you, if you have younger ones, maybe children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren, or neighbors who have young ones, that you would like to encourage them to feel the inherent joy that comes out of us when we are giving to someone else unexpectedly, right? Unexpectedly. And so I know that I've been given things, not just material things. I've been given things, wisdom, time, right? Abundant love by people that I haven't asked for it from. And when I received it, that love was so great in me that it spilled over. My cup spilled over. And I know that with love, the more love that we have, the more love we have to give. Eric, it's not like hate. Hate can be over-consuming. Love is abundance. So I would like to charge us to spread love.
Right.
Spread
and
love.
get creative.
Yep.
I've never thought this thought before, but get creative. I'm going to start by offering. So if anybody needed some clothing, you don't have the money for gifts. I got so many new clothes, almost tags on them. So you call me up, I'll give them to you. Just drive by. I'll drive some brand new shoes to you, coats, jackets, shirts. And I'm saying you can do the same. that really we are resources to others. So take some time to think about who might not be able to afford gifts for others, that we could provide some of the things that we have in abundance. That's why Tommy and I don't need nothing.
Yeah.
It's not that we're just that rich, but we're rich in all that kind of materialism kind of stuff. We got a bunch of stuff that's just taking up space. But I would say that greater than even giving away these things is really about your time and your heart. I would tell you right now, I've said to my children, the best gift that they could ever get from me would be a homemade song or a poem or a letter that they write that just talks about how they feel about me or Judy. Those are the greatest gifts that I know that I can receive, Tommy.
Yeah, I would like to invite the community and share for you what's one of the greatest gifts that you could receive or give, right, from your perspective. And again, like you said, Eric, it's not always about, material things. There's a lot, I would imagine, there's a lot that has to take place with songwriting, right? It's pulling things, putting things into the particular order, editing, re-editing, etc. That work of sharing love through song, sharing love through the arts, sharing love through creativity, right? Reminds me of the little ones, our children when they're very, very young, 3, 5, 7, 8 years old, and what they're doing, and they give it. Right. This is my gift, right? And we as parents, grandparents, we look at it, and it's, colors are all over the place. It's not a well engineered piece, but it's a piece of work because I know where it's coming from. Right. I'm going to put this on the refrigerator.
Right.
I'm going to frame it up.
Right.
And then years later, I'm 15, I'm 20 years old. I look back in life. This is age 5.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Wow. I did that. That's remarkable for me to see and experience actually the power of giving and the opportunity to give it. We have the propensity, we as human beings that want to do the right thing, we have the propensity to do amazing things that last a lifetime. Last a lifetime. That we don't always remember the exact gift, but it's that memory, right?
Right. So I've got a charge for you in our community, and I'm going to place this charge on Tommy and myself as well. My charge to you is to give a meaningful gift and not one to be purchased, but one to be given. And so that means I got to sit around and think about what would be a meaningful gift. And I think I have it. I'm going to try to grab it here in just a second, Tom. I'm going to let you hold it down for a second. But I've got this picture, I think, that my middle son drew of his family. And it still today is one of the most precious gifts that I've ever received in my life. Didn't cost a thing. I'm telling you, the reason why I have so much crap to give away is because it doesn't mean anything. Nothing at all. It gives you a little tick of dopamine to get it off the shelf. I now hold on to receipts. I ain't done. Matter of fact, a lot of stuff I don't even take out the car. I just keep tags on it, and then the next day I'll take it back. I just needed to.
Yeah.
Right. Just had to take it off the rack.
Hey, we're going to get you some help, Eric. We're going to get you some help.
Help is coming. I'm in a program. Yeah. I ain't want to say I'm in a program. I'm walking all over stuff. And most of that is giving stuff away. But how about not even buying it?
Right.
So, but the most powerful gifts that we can give is the gifts, a meaningful gift. And Joe, man, I love you, brother. So glad that you're with us. Happy holidays. If you all can share with us the most meaningful holiday experiences that you've had, we certainly want to share those with others because, like I say, at this time, we're living in difficult times right now. And there's a reason why 31 attorney generals are suing Meta, Facebook, Instagram, because young people have been consumed in those social media platforms in ways that have reshaped the way that they look at themselves. And so there's more anxiety, there's more depression because of all of the negative expectations. And I think, Tommy, all of us are caught up in this world of materialism where happiness looks like it's something that can be bought. And so if it can be bought, then we're all going to sort of make the greatest effort that we can, when happiness is actually free and it's a choice that we make. And I think that we poo-poo the more meaningful things in life, but the more meaningful things in life are the only thing worth having. And I say to my children, I'll say it again, I've said it on this show before, but I'll say it again, that I've told my children that success is not defined by a job, a salary, a degree. It's not defined by houses or cars or material things that you can buy. Success is defined by the quality of each moment lived. So I'm going to say to you, community, right now, don't look to Christmas. Don't look to the future when you really get that great job that's going to have you with so much money that you can buy everybody whatever they want, the nicest gifts in the world. No, that's not success. Right. Success is free and can be had in any moment that you desire to have it by just extending yourself and your heart towards someone else. And I'm going to put down a marker that says that we've got to ratchet up our more meaningful encounters with one another and think about how we can reach out and help one another in ways that don't even cost a thing.
Don't even cost a thing. I'm going to share my story, Eric. I didn't know if you wanted to step away. I'm going to share my story very quickly. Shout out to my sister, Anita, again, who I love dearly. Looking forward to connecting with you this weekend as well. Many years ago, had the opportunity to celebrate Christmas in our house. And a few weeks, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks before Christmas, my parents had decided to fix my bicycle. I had like a dirt bike, okay? And my father made it a point to tell me that, listen, I'm sick and tired of fixing these bikes. And so they fixed my bike, and Christmas rolled around, and my sister and I was sleeping. We woke up and running down the hallway, and I jumped up a little bit earlier than she did, so I'm running ahead of her, and I saw a 12-speed bike in the living room as a gift. And I ran past it. I saw it's like, Nita, you got a bike. And she's like, yeah. You know, she was happy, but not too happy, whatever. And my father and mother said, no. That's not for your sister. That's for you. I said, what? They bought me a 12-speed bike. And I was like, oh, man, I'm so happy. My sister, I remember like it was yesterday, ran by me, went to the left, and there was a complete art set. My sister Anita was an artist, a full art set. I'm talking about paint, all types of acrylics, the canvases. Right. It was all laid out. It was like a museum. I was so happy for her. Right. Oh. Because she got what she wanted. And it wasn't just a material thing. Right. It was my sister is an artist. Mm-hmm. She's a creator. And she had literally a blank canvas to create. Mm. Man, I almost tackled her with the joy that I have for her to get hers, Eric. And I remember that moment. She and I, we talk about that moment. But I inevitably broke both of my bikes, because that's what I do with jumping ramps and stuff like that. I couldn't keep a bicycle, right? But my sister took care of her art pieces. Yeah. Right. And I just want to shout out that moment because again, it wasn't just the material; it was the thought, it was the memory of the moment.
Yeah. And I'm going to share with you, this is why I love this brother right here. For me, the silver lining in that whole thing was a Tommy Lewis that saw a 12-speed bike and ran past it with this joy to tell his sister, you got a bike.
Yeah.
And that's the character that we want our children to have. I think that's the character that we don't even fully realize is in us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed, Eric.
Your bigger thought was, hey, you got a bike.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah.
And your parents said, no, that's your bike.
Yeah.
And so I just appreciate that, because that's the Tommy Lewis that I experienced, who is so humble that he didn't think about even that part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
He would have never told it to say, here's how I operate. He told it to say, just to talk about a great experience that he had. And then he was so glad that his sister, because then you probably felt a little sad that, oh, I got the bike. What did she get?
Right.
I hope she got something good, And she did. She got what she wanted. And so I want to show this to you, because this is up on, Tommy, that's the gift that my son gave me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, when he was in elementary school. Evan, that's my middle son. And so he gave me this picture right here that, it says, draw a picture of your hero. And he drew a picture of me. And so he's now 26 years old and 27 years old. And all the years, I don't have another gift that anybody's given me. But these are meaningful gifts. It's what we do and what we say to others and how we live with others and the sacrifices that we make. Let's see what Joe has said. Tommy, I'm going to lean on you again.
Yeah. Joe says, so true. He's responding to some comments we made earlier. I'm a director of recreation and an assisted living facility for people with Alzheimer's and dementia. There's nothing more rewarding than putting a smile on those people's faces, right? Again, those who may not have all of their mental capacities, there's still this energy, this feeling that can create the smile. It takes more muscles in our face to frown than it does to smile. So again, the challenge is, what could you say or do or maybe gesture to allow someone to use their natural muscles in their face? And that is to draw a smile. I know, Eric, that as folks are joining us today, we've had the belly aching laughs. We've moved to some serious talk, maybe around Christmas and the meaning and purpose, ebbing and flowing between those principalities, those lessons, those memories, and our own. It's all part of, I think, our effort to become full and whole. To be full and whole. And so, again, I so much appreciate the opportunity to be whole. And this is a public forum, but I'll tell you, it doesn't feel like it's public. Every time we talk, it's just you and I,
right? And
it could be some people from around the world listening,
right?
But at the end of the day, if we're not broadcasted, we'll be having these conversations.
Right, we don't do this for y'all. Right. We do this just because it's what we do. So, Tom, I'm going to ask you this as we come to a close. So, what are your Christmas gifts for your family? What is the gift that you would want them to have? And now, I'm speaking beyond anything material.
Yeah.
What is the gift that you most want Bryce to have? And
Penny and I'll start with my wife, Penny. I want my wife, Penny, to have from me absolutely all of me in the way that she needs me, that I will be what she needs from me. If it's in me, I can give it to her. So sometimes that's just presence. Sometimes it's time. Sometimes it's a listening, objective ear, right? Eric, I'll tell you that at times I wasn't that.
Right.
I was listening with a critical problem-solving ear, right? I'm looking over my glasses.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to get to the answer.
Right. I'll solve this in a minute.
I'll solve it. Yep. Right. Keep unpacking it. Oh,
Right.
I know it.
Right.
And that's not what she needed from me at all.
Right.
Right. And so the gift that I can give to her, and I will give to her, is listening to what she needs and what she wants. For Bryce, my son, I want to give him the same growth that he's experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
So as he's growing in life, I too want to grow with him.
Right.
And not be stuck in either my own life, not be stuck in what I learned from my own parents, Eric, from what they learned in the 60s and the 50s and the 40s. What my parents learned in the 40s and 50s, I think most of that is not relevant today, right? Not all of it, but most of it's not. It's a different world, and my son is living in a different world. And I want to be present in the world that he lives. That's, again, patience, perseverance, just being the rock for him. Just sometimes when he falls back, catch him and push him up. I want to be the gift of really hearing him when he's not speaking. That's what I want to give to my son.
What's the what's the greatest gift that you'd long for yourself?
A great question, Eric. And I'll turn these same questions to you as we close out as well. Oh man, that's a good question for me. Oh, Eric, I'm
yeah, man. Yeah, brother.
I'm full. I'm full. I don't really need anything. I have God.
Right.
I'm living my dreams. Right. I am actually engaging in stress and challenges and conflict, and I'm up to it. It's all by design. I'm living a very full and fulfilling life. Any gift, if there was any gift, it is for me to, it is for my family and friends to continue to share with me. Just, talk with me when you want to talk, share with me when you want to share, invite me to your life when you want to invite me to it. If you don't want to invite me to whatever, I'm okay. But when you do invite me, thank you. Thank you. That's what I have.
I love that. Yep. I am full.
Yep.
And that's a statement of gratitude. It says that I recognize that God has been good to me. Being full doesn't mean perfect. It just means grateful. And I love that. As I think about my own life, the greatest gift for me to receive would be to fully embody the purpose that God has created for me in my life. And I know what it is, and I walk in it a lot of times, but not all the time. And I think there's some limitations in terms of what I can deliver as even an example for all my family if I'm not fully walking out, experiencing the gift of living within my purpose. As I think about Judy, the greatest gift that I would give to Judy are several. One would be a higher level of self-confidence and self-esteem in who God has made her. She's this amazingly talented, gifted woman that so often doesn't see that. And sometimes the thing I love most about Judy and I is we don't argue very much, Tommy. We've gotten so much better at that. But every human being's brain operates differently. And sometimes when her brain is just operating differently than mine, I might engage in a little argument, but it chips away.
Yeah.
There's a cost with all of those. And what I want to do is I want to catch myself more.
Yeah.
So that I don't even chip away a little something, because she doesn't need any additional stressors, not even small ones, in her life based upon what she's up against. I would also desire for Judy the gift of seeing her children achieve closer to their potential and deliver on what God created them to do, because I know that she worries about that more than anything. She's a mother.
Yeah.
And so she's looking at each one of them. And I just watched her over this last week, loving on each one of them, and I was just, and they call her up all day and they text her all the time. And she's a beautiful friend with all four of our children as well. So that would be the gift that I would hope for her. For Jillian, the gift would be of finding the right husband. And she is like the rest of us. She has high standards, and she's waiting on God to send her the man that's right for her. Yeah. And so that I know that a lot in her life will, she's fulfilled right now. So a lot of it is the gift of appreciating the time that God has given you, because I don't think anything happens outside of God's timing.
Right.
And whenever it happens, that's the right time. So that means the time that you have right now, you have to look at how can I best utilize that while I'm waiting for the right man. Yeah. I also would give a gift to all of my children, a gift of recognizing who they really are in the midst of a critical, judgmental world. They live in an age group that is so comparison oriented,
yes,
and so materialistic that if you fall behind in that judgmental game, sometimes it can negatively impact your self-esteem. And when our self-esteem goes down, then it's harder for us to deliver the energy to life that's necessary in order to be successful. And so the other thing that I would want to deliver as a gift to my entire family is more comfort and confidence in being transparent within the family. Because it's one thing to have to hide from the world. It's another thing if you feel like you have to hide a little, even within your own family. And I'm going to tell you this, all of us are hiding a little bit. And what we want to try to do is deliver to each other the confidence that says that whatever your truth is, and I'm saying this to you right now, Tommy, that whatever your truths are, they're safe with me. That nothing about you is going to ever impact the way that I look at you. And so whenever you're thinking when crazy crazy things happen, right? It's Christmas. Right. Jesus Christ, Jesus for the season, all like that. And you think, who can I call in the world? I want to be one of those people that you know.
Yes, sir.
I call Eric up and I want my children, my wife, and those of you in our community to have somebody in your lives that you can be transparent, fully transparent with, knowing that whatever your stories are, they're safe with those individuals. Close us out, Tommy.
Yeah, that's a blessing that you just shared. And thank you for that question. And thank you for sharing, Eric. We want to thank our community once again as we move through this particular Christmas season into the new year of 2024. We're excited to have you back every year. We thank you. We thank you for you taking the time out of your busy schedule to joining us live or taking a look and joining the conversation at a later date. So we look forward to seeing you again on another installment of Diversity Conversations. Take care, be blessed, take care of yourself, and take care of each other. Take care.
Bye now. Happy holidays.